Versatile Mage. Chapter 554. The Vanished Sunny Goat Village. The area around Xianqi was always covered in thin sand. Rumors said that the sands would be absorbed by the undead like nutrients after being exposed to the presence of death for too long. Along the journey, Mo Fan noticed quite a number of undead collecting the white sand that had stored the energy of the moon and death, as if they were scooping up gold from waves. These undead were far from the outer walls of the city, wandering aimlessly, searching for anything useful, bones, body parts, anything left behind by wild dogs. With such an effective way to avoid contact with the undead, doesn't that mean they aren't as scary as we thought? Asked one of the black silk woman's companions, a man with a thick beard. Ash garlic is harder to find than gold, explained Shorty. It can't be cultivated. It only grows in bunches at places crowded with undead, feeding on the dead as its source of nutrients. Only villagers outside the city walls know how to retrieve it, but the amount produced each year is very limited. If it weren't for my brother here, who's a half-blood from one of those villages, there's no way we could have gotten our hands on any. The muscular man smiled as Shorty spoke, his eyes sneaking glances at the black silk woman. It was clear that neither of them had ever seen such beauty before. The Sunny Goat Village isn't far ahead. The night is still long. We should rest there for now, said Shorty, pointing toward a nearby hill. Every village has its own rules. If you plan to enter one, make sure you follow them, the muscular man reminded everyone. The group nodded in agreement. They arrived at the hill, expecting to see a human village in the middle of the land of the undead. But as they descended and looked ahead, their eyes widened. There was no village. Only piles of logs scattered across the land between the rivers and mountains remained. They turned in every direction, but all they could see was black soil and a few low grounds leading to caves. Are you trying to trick us? Snapped the bearded man. I have no idea what's going on. Shorty stammered, looking helplessly at the muscular man. The muscular man's face was full of shock, as if he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Suddenly, he bolted down the slope. Not a single hut could be found among the piles of logs, nothing that even hinted at a village. The map said Sunny Goat Village should be right here, Lu Ru said after checking. Yeah, it's impossible that the map is wrong. I swear I wasn't lying. Shorty blurted out. Where's the village, then? I don't know. Unless, judging by the muscular man's reaction, it was clear Sunny Goat Village was supposed to be here. But somehow, it had vanished completely. If fences, debris, or traces of old homes had remained, they could have proven a village once stood here. Yet there was nothing, just logs and black soil. Does this mean the village fell victim to the undead too? Asked Lu Ru. Maybe. Perhaps the new ruler of the undead doesn't care about showing mercy to the locals, Shorty muttered. The group went down the hill to investigate and found obvious burn marks. The logs were likely used as firewood. A soft breeze lifted clouds of ash into the air. There aren't any bodies, but burn marks are everywhere. It's hard to tell what happened, the bearded man said to the black silk woman. Even if something did happen, we wouldn't see any corpses, Mo Fan pointed out, nodding toward the undead wandering nearby. The villagers, if dead, would have turned into undead themselves. The ground was covered in ash, and there were no traces of blood. What should we do now? Asked the black silk woman's other companion. We can only head for the next village, she said calmly. But if that one's gone too? Shorty nodded grimly, sharing her concern. Mo Fan and Lu Ru had no better idea, so they agreed silently. Let's go. You won't find anything here, Shorty said to the muscular man. Maybe they moved. Don't lose hope yet. The muscular man took a deep breath, regaining his composure. Realizing there were no signs of the dead villagers, he led the way toward Hua Village. It'll take about 2 days to reach Hua Village from here. We were supposed to rest at Sunny Goat Village tonight to save some ash garlic. Looks like we'll run out before we get there, Shorty said seriously. That was a serious problem. Without ash garlic, they would be exposed to the undead. Shorty suggested they return to the ancient capital until the muscular man could get more ash garlic from his people. But the muscular man said it would take at least a few months to gather more. Forget it. Going back now would waste too much time. Just lead the way, said the man with the mustache. Mo Fan and Lu Ru agreed. Delaying would only make things worse. Don't worry, said the black silk woman. She glanced at Shorty and added pleasantly, I noticed that not all areas are crowded with undead. Let's try not to rely on ash garlic unless we're surrounded by too many of them. That sounds like a good idea, Shorty nodded. Mo Fan silently agreed, thinking, it's rare to see a busty woman with a brain. Following the black silk woman's suggestion, they stopped eating ash garlic during the second half of the night. When they were 3 or 4 li away from the vanished Sunny Goat village, they began to feel the undead's unfriendly gaze. The undead roamed in small groups of 2 or 3, mostly zombies, terrifying only in appearance. Here they come, hissed Shorty. A zombie grinding its teeth with a rock suddenly caught the scent of living flesh. Its head turned stiffly, and its glowing green eyes locked onto the black silk woman, who stood closest. The woman's expression didn't change. No fear, no disgust, no panic. Her bearded companion stepped forward. An icy star pattern appeared beneath his feet like frost. Ice lock, he shouted. Frost formed a thick chain that lunged forward, wrapping tightly around the zombie trying to attack the woman. Bone husk. The man clenched his fist, and the ice chain tightened, freezing the creature in place. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.